Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching Thursday Nights with 912 Sports on a Monday. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports. Hey, want to take this opportunity to thank some sponsors of 912 Sports. We'd like to thank Coastal Pines Technical College, Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty, Robbie Robertson Ford of Waycross, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, Prime South Bank, and Gibson Animal Clinic. And we appreciate all of our sponsors. And joining us now is the head coach of the Coffee County Trojans baseball team, Coach Cy Jones. Coach, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, Sean.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on, and let's just kind of go back to the beginning, Coach. You've been in baseball all your life. Back in the day, your dad was drafted in the first round into the major league, so you kind of grew up, around baseball. When did you decide, Coach, that you were going to make baseball a part of your life as well?
Well, actually, I got a little bit of a later start than most of the guys that I work against and with. I went over to played at Perry High School for my dad. My dad was the head coach there, and we're fortunate enough to win a state championship together in '91. And Perry's having an excellent year this year, so they're real excited and are planning a 30-year anniversary of that big year for us back in '91. It's hard to believe it's been 30 years ago, but the time goes by quickly. But after I played at Perry, I was fortunate enough to play at Georgia Southern for 4 years, and then a couple of years in independent baseball. So that was my foray into the pro game, and I really enjoyed it, and proud to say that I played in that league. And then I had my business degree from Georgia Southern, and I kind of got into the business world and spent some time in the logistics field over at Bluebird in Fort Valley, Georgia, and was married and living a happy life, enjoyed my job. My wife was a teacher, and then we had a son, and he started playing t-ball, so I just volunteered to coach his team, and then had another son a couple years later and did the same, and then just started feeling that itch and really that tug that, while I enjoyed what I was doing, it just didn't fulfill me like the coaching game did. So we had an opportunity over at FPD in Macon, Georgia, where my dad, who was fully retired, he was just helping out with their softball program. And I was giving some of their players lessons just on the side, and ended up taking a job there. Was there 9 years as an assistant baseball coach and coached football there as well. And then got a call from Coffee High and came and interviewed and talked to Coach Garrett and Coach White, and things went really well. And this is our 4th year here. So that's kind of my background and kind of my late start into coaching, but I've certainly enjoyed the 14 years that I've been in it.
Right. And then, like I said, this is your first head coaching gig. Of course, this is your 4th year into it. I know your dad was a part of your staff last year and the year before. Is he still part of your staff?
Yep. This is Dad's 49th year in a high school dugout. I think I'm going to get at least one more out of him, and he's going to probably call it a career at 50 years. So he's the youngest 72-year-old guy on the planet, and keeps our field looking immaculate. Still throws batting practice every day that we're not on the machine. So just a picture of health and somebody that the kids really rely on as a resource. Doesn't say a whole lot, but when he does, the kids really soak it all in, and they're always up for a good story time from Coach Jones. He's the real Coach Jones, and I just let him call me whatever. So it's hard for me to be called Coach Jones when he's sitting in the dugout, but it's been fantastic working with him, and something that we've really enjoyed. And like I said, he's not just a figurehead by any means. He's one of the hardest working guys on my staff. So really been fortunate enough to have him with me, and got Hill Thomas is coach's first base for us. He works with our catchers, and he and I kind of head up the pitching staff. And then we have Ladonis Bryant does our outfielders and works with our hitters primarily. Sam Hoff he's been here since the first year I was here. He was actually on staff before I got here. He heads up our JV units, and then we hired a former player this year, Jacob Corson. So that's been really cool to have a guy that played for me for 3 years, just graduated last year, and now is on as a paid coach, volunteer coach, and he's going to school to get his certificate and whatnot. So that's been a really cool dynamic too.
Right. Well, Coach, this is your 4th year, so really all of these kids have been with you the whole time that they've been a part of the program. I know in football, coaches really put a premium on, having your kids doing your program and that. How important is it in baseball? Is it the same as it is in football, or is it a little bit different in baseball?
we try to follow. We have a wonderful football model here at Coffee High. Coach Pruitt came in when things weren't going the best for the football program, and that's kind of the world that I entered as the baseball coach. They had some good coaches here before me and did things the right way, and they, just sometimes things don't work out, and programs go through lean years. So I kind of just modeled what Coach Pruitt has done here, and really emphasized the weight room and getting kids that weren't, if they for whatever reason weren't playing other sports in the fall, to really, we went to 3 days a week after school with throwing, long toss, and conditioning and that sort of thing, and just put an emphasis on becoming a better baseball player, as opposed to just waiting to January and jumping into it on the first start day. So we think we're seeing some progress there, and just had a brand new facility built here on our right. Sitting in my office in the field, right behind my office here, just built a 40 by 40 weight facility that's right here attached to our batting cage. That's state of the art, and something that we're very proud of. And our kids are able to use that every single day. So we've kind of built our program around strength and conditioning, and use the off season to do that. So.
Right. And a lot of programs have put an emphasis in all sports in the weight room, and it seems like that baseball's followed that suit.
Yep. I mean, I tell kids all the time that, when we were at Georgia Southern, that we lifted weights every single day of the year. There was never a time where we didn't stop lifting weights. The dynamics of the lifting obviously changed throughout the calendar, but there was never a down period where we weren't lifting. And, kids today they don't want to get sore. And I just remind them the only way not to get sore is to lift off all the time. So we put a big emphasis on it. And we feel like that in high school, there's no draft. The players that you have in your school, those are your players. So right. You can either try to develop them and get them stronger. The weight room has never made a kid worse. And we feel like that our community and our board and our administration, diving in and building that facility for us, we want to maximize it.
Exactly. Well, Coach, again, this is your fourth year. You've got a really good team. As a matter of fact, one of your leaders we featured in the baseball issue, that's Trevor Gruska. Talk a little bit about Trevor, and then talk a little bit about some of your other players that really made an impact for the Trojans this year.
Well, Trevor is a senior this year, and this senior class is special because they were here as ninth graders when we got here. So this is really the first class that's been with our coaching staff for all 4 years, and the physical growth is obviously easy to measure, but the mental growth is what we're most proud of. Those guys. Trevor, speaking specifically of Trevor was a kid that played a lot as a freshman, and actually was a full-time starter by the second or third week of his freshman year. And he just kind of got thrown in the deep end and had to teach himself how to swim. And there was a lot of adversity when you're a player that's good enough to play as a freshman. Usually the 4th through the 8th grade of baseball is very simple. It's very easy. Mm-hmm. It comes with a lot of success. So then to get thrown in there in the 9th grade and have to deal with some adversity, and just the dynamics of high school sports. Anytime you're a 9th grader and you're playing on a field that's filled with juniors and seniors, there's going to be times where there could be some negative connotations either off the field or on the field. So Trevor did a fantastic job of mitigating all that, and has just turned into a leader on our team. He's a captain on our team, one of our 3 captains. He's currently getting looks from all the junior colleges here in Georgia, as well as other 4-year programs throughout Florida and whatnot. So we're really excited about Trevor's future in the game, and really excited with the year and the contributions that he's had this year.
Right. Now, you said he's one of 3 captains. Who are your other 2 captains on your team, Coach?
We got our catcher, Nathan Vining, and pitcher Hayden Weems. Those were guys that we kind of do our captains at the end of the previous year, and they kind of lead us throughout the fall. And those were guys that as a staff, we get some input from our leadership committee. We have a leadership committee, which is 2 or 3 kids from each grade level, and just who would, if the coaches couldn't come today, who would they put in charge of the practice, and get their ideas on that. And we kind of, make up the final vote. But those were the 3 guys that we had, and all 3 guys of those this year made a huge contribution. And those are guys that, although they do spend a lot of time in the lineup, were they not in the lineup, their impact would be the same as it is with them in there. So that those guys they really personify what it means to be a Trojan, and we're very proud of them.
Exactly. Well, Coach, with this senior class, what is the one thing that you point to that you're most proud of? Is it timely hitting? Is it clutch pitching? Is it senior leadership? What is it about this senior group that makes you the most proud of these Trojans?
Oh, I think that's the easy one. I think it's just their acceptance of their roles. Not every senior, not all of our 8 seniors are full-time starters. There's some that come off the bench as courtesy runners. There's some that are called on to get 3 outs in a game. We got a couple seniors in the outfield that almost platoon, and this just the sense of support that they have for each other when they're not in there. I think that's probably one of the toughest things for kids to deal with, because when they go home, they're obviously the best player for that position because their parents love them, and their parents, they see the game through their perspective, and they want them to be out there as much as possible. And so sometimes for a kid to be able to handle a role that's not, in a starring situation, so to speak, or perhaps they play another sport and they're a star in that sport, it's just been wonderful for us to see, these kids, they don't care who gets the credit. They just want to win.
Right. And so it's a team mentality, and that's exactly
very much a team mentality. And like I said, that they're good ball players, and they've all spent a lot of time on the field this year. So that's been good. But we feel like that those guys, wherever we put them or whatever role we choose for them, that they're accepting of it because they put the team before themselves.
Right. Well, Coach, this Region 1-5A has already been decided as far as first place goes. Wayne County is going to win that role, regardless of what happens this week with them playing, which I think they're probably going to sweep again. They swept you guys. They swept Ware County. They swept everybody they played. I mean, they're a really, really good, good baseball team. They're a solid number 1. But this week it comes down to between you guys and Ware County. Whoever wins 2 out of 3 of these next 3 games is going to be able to host and going to be able to go into the playoffs as a number 2 seed. And I'm sure you've scouted Ware County, but what do you see on film from Ware County, and what is, what are you guys going to have to do to be able to win that series?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough just with the schedule quirks and with rainouts and games being moved around inside the region to different days, been able to catch Ware 3 or 4 times in person. And when I watch Ware play, I see a lot of ourselves. I think the teams are extremely balanced. We finished with the exact same region record through 9 wins. I went and looked at our runs allowed and runs scored and run differential and that sort of thing. They're almost identical. So they have really standout players at a few positions, and those same positions at Coffee, they have produced some standout players as well. So it's almost like looking in a mirror when I watch those guys play. Coach Ammons does a tremendous job. He and I have grown to be buddies in the 4 years. I think Coach Ammons started the same year at Ware that I started here. So we've kind of gone through this thing together as head coaches, and he's a great man, a great coach, and we've spoken on the phone already this week and looking forward to getting after it for a little while. But regardless of how it turns out, I know that they'll represent our region well, and we're up against a very, very strong Region 4. So this seeding is extremely important. I think both teams are aware of that.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I believe Region 4 has already been decided, if I understand that right. I think if you win, you host Union Grove, and if you wind up being a 3 seed, then you wind up going to Locust Grove. Is that your understanding, Coach?
Yeah, that is actually the reality of it. And we hadn't spent much time on those guys because Ware commands so much of our attention. But I do know that that region is extremely balanced in that all 4 seeds over there have beaten each other.
Right.
So there's not one team that's kind of pulled the trick that Wayne has pulled in our region. It seems like each team has a pitcher that they can really rely on because they've all been able to beat one another. So I don't think you're doing any, you're not doing any favors by getting Union Grove over, say, a Locust Grove.
Right.
it's always nice to sleep in your own bed and stay at home. So that's the motivation for this week.
That's definitely right. Well, Coach, you guys have got to come to Ware County on Tuesday and Friday. They come to you guys on Thursday. Looking ahead, it looks like we're going to be okay weather-wise, so I don't believe there's going to be any adjustments to the schedule. Should be a great series. And I'm like you, Coach. I see mirror images of these two teams, and I think it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes and who makes the least amount of errors. That's probably going to win this series.
I think you're dead on with that. That's what we're going to preach today at practice when we get going here in a little while is, if we can play clean baseball, then we like our chances. But if we give teams more than 3 outs in an inning, then we're going to be really challenged to walk away from that game with a victory. So I think like talking to Coach Ammons, he feels the same way about his squad. So we expect some great crowds. We're looking for a great high school baseball. Please, come out and support us. The best $5 or $6 you can spend, and kids really getting after it, playing the game the right way. And, two rivals, two towns that have been going at it for years and years and years. It really shouldn't come down to any other thing than this. Of course, we both like to be playing for that 1 seed, but we're going to get after it and try to get that hosting opportunity. That'd be a major step in the right direction for our program for sure.
Exactly. That first series at home is a huge bonus if you can make that happen. Well, Coach, hey, we appreciate your time tonight. Best of luck to you guys in this 3-game series. You guys get over here safe tomorrow, and we're going to be following along closely. We're going to be calling the games, all 3 games on 912sports.net. Like I said, we appreciate your time, and best of luck to you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Sean, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for what you do for the game of high school baseball. It means a lot to our family and our friends and our fans. And I know they can't wait to watch this tonight. So thank you so much for having us.
All right, buddy. We appreciate it. That's Coach Cy Jones, head coach of the Coffee County Trojans, as they take on the Ware County Gators in a huge 3-game series starting Tuesday at Ware County. First pitch is at 6 o'clock. You guys join in on 912sports.net. You can catch all the live play-by-play action. We'll be right back here with Thursday nights with 912 Sports on a Monday after these messages. Thanks for watching.